Let's talk about your childhood and upbringing. Doing some research on your career. You had a real rough upbringing growing up. Talk about that.
Yeah, I had a real tough time coming out of the chute, man. Just I was my mother and father split when I was 5, and I had a brother and sister, but I wasn't around them. They were in different places. I was with my grandparents, and my grandparents raised me the best they could. They did with what they could. They didn't have a whole lot, but they gave me plenty of love. But my grandfather was a hopeless alcoholic. He drank every day. Most of the time, whenever I'd come home from school, he'd be passed out in the chair, and made it tough for me to bring kids over to play or to visit. So that didn't happen. I was always embarrassed and ashamed of that. And I was a bedwetter up to the time I was about 11. And the sheets would be hung outside. And another thing to shame me and embarrass me. But like I said, they did the best they could. Uh,
Yeah.
Granny. But I stayed with them till my grandmother got sick. Uh, she got sick one week and she was dead the next week.
Horrible.
I was 12 years old. And went and lived with my father for a short time. And that's when I was molested by my stepmother. Uh, Physically abused, mentally abused, all sorts of games being played. It was tough.
Yeah. It seems like it was very traumatic. And
It,
I know that you came from a wrestling family. All you got like family members that have been in the business for so long. Do you remember your first exposure to wrestling?
oh yeah, my dad was wrestling. That was my first exposure to it.
When you're on the road, or seeing professional wrestling in person live, it can be very exciting. When you're a fan, you get hooked right away. And was that, did you decide you wanted to go on the business on your own, or did your father want you to pursue it?
No, he didn't want me in wrestling at all.
Really?
No, no, he discouraged me.
What was it about wrestling that he just was like, I don't want you doing this?
He just told me I didn't have the guts for it,
Hmm.
that he was ashamed of me, and I'd never amount to anything.
To you, Jake, what was it about wrestling that made you go, wow, I could do this. I love this.
I did it out of hate. Um, when my father, when I graduated from high school and I went down to see him to tell him that I graduated, nice of you to show up, Dad, you know, but he didn't. And I went down to visit him, telling him that I was going to go to college. I wanted to be an architect. That's what I wanted to be.
Hmm.
And he just told me that he didn't have anything for me. He wasn't going to help me, and that I needed to man up.